Hello, everybody. Welcome back to General Science. In the last episode, we talked about motion and the different things that define it. But today, we're going to talk about something a little bit different, and that's the thing that causes motion. Now, you might be wondering what that might be called, and it's a pretty simple answer. It's called force. Force is what causes all things in our planet and the universe to move, to have motion. Right? So anytime you see anything moving or there's some sort of motion happening around you, there's some force that's causing that to happen. That could be the mechanical force from your own body. That could be the force from maybe a gust of wind or some water. Right? There's lots of different things that can exert forces on things. So, things you need to know about forces. Well, there are three general laws about forces that you need to know about. The first thing is that any force that you're going to exert on something, there's going to be an equal and opposite force coming back at you. Okay? So for instance, right, if you've ever done this, right, if you have like a basketball or something and you throw it up and then smack it with your hand, right, you cause the ball to move, but you're going to feel maybe that your hand hurts a little bit. That's because the ball exerted a force back on you, and that's why your hand hurt and maybe recoiled a little bit when you hit it. Right? That's a force being acted on based on your force. The second thing you need to know about forces is that all forces can be measured based on the mass of the object and the acceleration that is caused by the force. So for instance, right, if you were to push that ball that I was talking about earlier, that basketball, and you knew how much mass it had and how quickly it accelerated after you pushed it, you could calculate how much force that you had done on that ball. It's a pretty easy multiplication problem. Mass times acceleration. Remember, we talked about acceleration last time. Now, the final thing you need to know about forces is that if something is at rest, it's going to stay at rest until a force acts on it. And the same goes for if something's in motion. So, for instance, if you watched the Super Bowl recently, because I know that was on a couple weeks ago, right? Anything that was in motion during that game, right, whether it be a player or the ball, the only thing that could stop that motion is another force acting on that thing or person, right? So when a player gets tackled, there's a force being exerted on them to stop their movement. So that's the three major things you need to know about forces. 1, things will stay at rest or in motion unless a force acts on them. 2, forces can be found, the actual quantity of the force can be found by multiplying the mass of an object times its acceleration due to a force. And 3, anytime a force is acted upon something, the thing you're pushing or using force on is going to push back. There's going to be a responsive force from that object. Now, what exactly is a force? Well, a force is anything that can push or pull an object. So that could be you physically pushing or pulling something. That could be like wind or water, like I said. There's lots of things that can exert forces. As long as it can push or pull it, you can consider that a force maker. Okay? That's all we're really going to talk about when it comes to forces. Next, we're going to talk about two important physics concepts called work and energy. And they'll have to deal with how forces are used. So next time, we'll talk about those, and we'll see you soon for some more general science. Thanks for watching.